Morning, Lethbridge. Karri Flatla here at Remax Real Estate Lethbridge for this morning's Friday fire. How are you guys all doing today? We got so much snow. I always talk about weather. I don't know why, but we got so much snow yesterday. It was looking like spring, and then everyone had their hearts broken and it snowed. But it's sunny out today, so that makes me happy. Lethbridge is famous for sun. So I want to talk to you today about how to cut your stress at least by half when buying or selling a home. And this one thing makes such a huge, huge difference. And you do this thing before you even begin searching for a home and before you even list your home. Okay, so it's the pre-work, if you will, of buying or selling a home. This is how Regan and I do things on my team. Doesn't mean everybody does it like this. This is how we do it and how we've had great success. And I'm a big believer in this one thing because we see the results. It enhances the relationship with your realtor so much, but it also enhances the process for you so that it's not as stressful. Because let's face it, even in the most perfect scenario, buying or selling a home, many hundreds of thousands of dollars in most cases, is pretty scary. So this one thing is based on the Golden Rule 3.0, and I learned this from Ken Brand. So shout out to Ken Brand. He's a realtor down in Texas, and I love my fellow Texans. The Golden Rule 3.0 says, do unto others as they would have done to themselves. The old Golden Rule, no disrespect, is do unto others as you would have done to you. As a service provider, that's not very effective because what I like might not be what you like. The type of home I like might not be what you like. What I think is good value might not be your definition of good value. What your definition of good service is might be slightly different than what I think is good service. So walking that back a little bit to what I was saying about how to reduce your stress, there's a tendency in the real estate world, and I think our industry, to its detriment and to the detriment of the consumer, has conditioned the world to do what I call drive-by real estate. Drive-by real estating. It's what you see on TV, and it's what we think we should do. And it's not the consumer's fault. Nobody really knows. I mean, you don't buy a house or sell a house every day. You just reach out to a realtor and ask a question. So you pull up in front of a house. Hi, I'm so-and-so. I want to see this house. Can I see it in 10 minutes? Well, no. Or, hi, I want to list my house. How much does it cost? What do you think my house is worth? And, it looks like this. And I'm just shopping around and getting information from different realtors. Okay, well, that's fine. But I always turn the table and ask the consumer questions. And then if you're interested in working with us, there's no drive-by real estating because we want you to have a good experience and not be super stressed out and feeling crazy throughout the process. So this one thing is what Regan and I do with all of our buyers and our seller clients. Of course, it looks slightly different for a seller than a buyer, but we have an in-office consultation before we actually start the process of searching for a home or putting your house on the market. Because contrary to popular belief, it's not just about opening the door and letting you in the house to see houses. And it's not just about giving you a price on your house to list and sell your home. There's so much more to it. So a couple of episodes back, I showed you we have like a booklet that we give each of our clients when we start working together, and that's kind of like homework, right? We talk about our process and how we work with you. So I just wanted to go a little bit deeper with that today. Is we sit down and do a full needs analysis with you before we get into anything to do with the mechanics of buying or selling a house, before we start talking about pricing your home, before we go and show you houses, or, you know, get so far down the track obsessing about, you know, what are my favorite colors in a kitchen. When you work with a realtor, you're working with someone so that they can represent your best interests, get you the best price on the best home, or get you the best price for your home in the fastest time if you're listing. The only way we can make that process successful for you and not rely on chance and luck and the weather and the whim of the other party is to understand what your definition of a successful transaction looks like. Because we have very set processes and structure and systems to get things done, but within that, we've got some room to move in how we work with you. So, for example, when we list your home, how would you like to be communicated with? You know, how would you like me to communicate with you? Maybe you work shift work. Maybe you don't like to text. Maybe you strongly prefer a conversation for most information. You know what? Everybody's different. You know, when you want to buy a home, what's your idea of good value on a home? What's your idea of a great negotiation outcome? And the other thing too is when we sit down and do a needs analysis, we're asking you questions more than you're asking us questions, because we're digging to uncover things about you and your personality, your background, your history of buying or selling homes. Maybe it's the first time that you've ever done this, or the first time you've ever worked with a real estate agent. We are digging deep to understand you, your background. Your financial situation is really important. That's going to change how you make decisions along the way. And all of those things will impact how we advise you along the way and how we guide you through that process, especially, say, during a negotiation, because everyone has a different value set. And everyone has a different style of negotiating and communicating. So you might not know it if you've never been in a real estate negotiation, but you have your own style of communicating and negotiating. And we want to understand that. So when we sit down in the office and talk to you, we're very laser focused on you. It's not about us, it's about you. And I think this is a huge pain point in real estate, a huge pain point for people, because they don't feel understood, and it's confusing to be in the middle of the process of buying or selling a home, not knowing what to expect, and maybe not having a good communication system with your real estate agent so that they can proactively advise you. You're going to lose some sleep throughout the transaction, even in a perfect situation. But our job is to make you feel comfortable. That's what reduces your stress, is that you feel understood. Think about your experience with other service providers, a doctor, dentist, lawyer, whatever. If you don't feel understood and you don't feel they're advising you in a way that makes sense for you, it's going to be a bad experience. It's going to be a bad experience. And if you feel stressed, your decision making is off and you won't make the best decisions. And so we work really hard to be the objective advisor throughout that process. And we're more effective if we sit down and have that meeting ahead of time. And we do it in the office 95% of the time, because it's not a distracted environment. We live in a world that is so distracted. People are looking at their phones while they're driving. They're looking at their phones while they're having dinner with their family. I do not allow that in my house, by the way. No phones at the dinner table and no phones at bedtime. Good tip right there. We want to be present with you so that we're focusing, all of us in that room, on the real estate transaction and your goals for that transaction. I find if we're talking with a buyer in a home that we're looking at, that buyer is naturally very distracted by the home. They're trying to take in everything about the home, and rightfully so, because you're shopping for a home. But when we sit in the office, we can focus on each other. When we talk about listing and selling your home, I, of course, want to come and see your home. That's important, and I need to understand your home and understand how you understand the home. But then we need to sit down in the office so that the food's not boiling over, baby's not crying, one of you's getting up because the laundry's beeping. We cannot have a productive conversation in that environment the way we can when we're sitting down in the office, the door closed, and we're really focused on each other, and I'm very focused on you and understanding you. It creates a completely different dynamic, and I can learn so much more about you, your personality, your needs, your goals, your worries, what's keeping you up at night. So that is the one key step that really I think is responsible for so much of our success on my team with our clients and gets us those 5-star reviews and happy clients at the end of a transaction. Have a consultation upfront. So important. So that's my message for today. We got enough stress in this world, and I think we're in a distracted world where we don't take the time to listen, and we don't take the time to put our phone down and pay attention to the people in front of us. And if that's a new client, then that's what I want to do. I want to put all my attention on you and not be distracted by anything else. I hope you guys have a terrific weekend. Enjoy the sunshine today while it lasts. I don't know if it's going to last. I never check the weather because the weather should not affect how you feel. Take care, and we'll see you next Friday for next Friday Fire. Bye-bye.